Hey everyone, and welcome to our next episode of Spotlight North Carolina Cooperative Extension. I'm your host, Rebecca Benton. North Carolina Cooperative Extension is comprised of two land-grant universities, NC State University and NC State University. We are located in all 100 counties, including the Koala boundaries. Now today, I have with me returning guest, Meleah Evers. Meleah, thank you for being on the show today.
Glad to be here.
Now we are going to do a fun, festive fruit display, right?
Yes.
All right, so I am super excited. I think I put an extra F in there for us.
You did.
So tell our audience a little bit about what we're doing.
Okay, so I just saw this idea and I thought it was super cute. You know, instead of having just a plain, fruit tree or not tray, you can have a fruit tree. So you can take the top of the pineapple, which you're probably going to trash anyway, and use it as part of your decoration on your fruit tray. And we'll actually coat it with a little powdered sugar so it looks like it snowed. Hopefully that'll stick on there.
It won't melt in.
Yeah. And then we're just going to display our fruit kind of around the tree on
Oh, that'll be fun. Now, I think like you told me one time that pineapples are in season during like the winter season. Is that right? Or you're not sure?
I'm not sure.
It seems like they were on sale at the store because I know usually like when they have things on sale,
they're usually in season.
For some reason. I might be wrong.
I really don't know.
I have to look that up.
We'll have to look that one up. But this is, super simple. I do have several different varieties of fruit in here that we're going to put on our tray. So you can really make it as simple or as, complex as you really want to. Because when I saw it displayed, they just had green grapes, strawberries, and the pineapple stars.
Okay. And it looks like you've got maybe some green grapes, some
red grapes.
I've
got blueberries and some strawberries.
And we have the pineapple.
And we have our pineapple.
Okay.
So ours is going to be really colorful.
All right. So let's get this started.
All right. So let's see how we can do with cutting this pineapple. So I'm just going to barely cut the top off here. My knife will cut. Of course, it wants to be difficult.
Well, you might have to go down a little bit.
Sometimes,
can you pop the top off like that, or do you actually need part of that?
I probably could.
Yeah, because a lot of times I'll take that thing and I just like, ugh.
No,
don't do it like that.
I might need you to.
That looks like a really fresh pineapple.
It is a really fresh one.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, that's not.
And we're definitely going to have to use a knife on this.
Yeah, I went for that one because
my Hulk woman is not working right now.
The top was pretty.
Yeah.
So if it is a little more ripe, then it is going to be a little bit
there you go.
easier.
Look at there.
It is going to be a little bit easier to work with. So this I will kind of pull off.
Okay.
So we can have the top of our Christmas tree.
Okay.
And if you want to root the pineapple and grow this, you'd have to move it indoors in the wintertime. But the next year, I think it is, you would have an actual pineapple.
You could
pull off. You can pull these off and root it in some water.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So we're just going to put that down on our plate. Hopefully it'll stand up.
Look
there.
It is standing.
It is standing for now.
You are impressing me.
Oh, good. So I'm going to put a toothpick. We might have to do another, but we'll see. And I do realize that you do not eat the core of the pineapple. So when I cut this star is not really intended for us to eat.
Okay, so this is more for
This is just for decoration for the top. I do realize that. So hopefully this cookie cutter will go down in here and give us our star to go on top of our Christmas tree. Hopefully I won't break it.
If we do, we'll
just cut it.
Yeah, we can probably use that knife to cut one up if we needed to.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, not the prettiest. Let's see if I can fit this back on here and finish kind of shaping it.
You could probably shave it up a little bit with a knife if you needed to.
Oh, yeah.
If you're having the same problem that we're having.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit of fuzz on the edge.
It's a fuzzy star, so we're just going to call that starlight for our star. So our background. Here. So we can kind of mesh that down a little bit. and then place our star on the top of our Christmas tree here. Pineapple tree.
Okay. Looks like a pineapple tree.
Yeah.
Probably use this in the summer too.
Oh, probably so.
Gosh, that would be really cute display.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can't get that to go all the way down on there, and I'm really not trying to stab myself with a toothpick today. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle the powdered sugar on the top before I add the fruit around it, because
okay, so the powdered sugar actually goes on the leaves.
Right, so it looks like
okay.
snow.
Got you. Okay.
So
when we were talking earlier, I was thinking you were putting it. I don't know. In my mind, this was a flat, not a three-dimensional, fun, festive fruit display.
Yes.
So, so this is like really fun looking.
Yes. So I have my plate here, so I don't make maybe quite as mess.
Now tell our audience what this is called.
Okay, this is a sifter. I do have a shaker that I could add, the powdered sugar, and that's kind of how they did it where I saw it. But I'm improvising. So
if you don't have a shaker, use a sifter.
Right, or even a fine mesh colander will work to do this. But I said, sifter will work, hopefully. So I'm just going to hopefully not make a big mess on our white tablecloth here.
Okay, I see some snow.
Yeah, put just a little bit of snow here around on our Christmas tree. So we have a snow-flocked Christmas tree.
Cute. And it's not going to hurt the fruit if a little bit of sugar falls on anyway,
No, it's not going to
right?
hurt. It's not, but I mean, if you do have the fruit on it and then sift it, then it'll just kind of melt into it if your fruit is damp.
Gotcha.
So now I'm just going to kind of fill in around with our fruit. And you can do this, on a bigger tray if you like. I'm just kind of doing
Or if you were having a party and you wanted to do several trays, that would be
or
cute.
several little trees.
You could cut up the pineapple and add it to it.
Yes.
If you wanted.
Oh yeah, you can do pretty much anything you want with this. So I'm going to add, and I thought the pretty, grapes and the blueberries, red grapes and blueberries would kind of look like Christmas ornaments. I know it looks like they kind of fell off the tree. But
Looks like somebody's dog or cat come in there and it had an accident, like one of those, the tree fell over moments.
Yeah.
Some cranberries would be pretty too.
Oh yeah. I don't know how great they would be to kind of stick on, but
I've never had a raw cranberry. I've always cooked them, but I would try it.
yeah. I did see another recipe that was really cute using cranberries and brie and bread, and I thought about doing that. Well, I was like,
Maybe next
that
time.
would require a couple of goes of that because it would have to be done and have one baked ahead, so we would be able to show what it looked like.
Yeah.
So, but that is one I definitely want to try. And I'm just going to place our strawberries whole around on here. Oops, we lost a blueberry.
Man down.
So, like I said, you can pretty
cute.
much do this with any kind of fruit that you like. A lot of people like to do like charcuterie boards now. So you could even do this, on a bigger tray and do your other meats and cheeses and olives and savory things.
Oh yeah.
How are we
I haven't
looking
thought
on
about
this
that.
side?
It's pretty good. I can twist it and you can see if you got any empty spots you need to fill.
Yeah. Let's see. Throw some color in here.
There you go. That's super easy. Or you've made it look super easy to me.
It is pretty easy. I mean, I think, the hardest thing here was, getting our pineapple top off because, like I said, it was a pretty fresh pineapple, so it is a little harder to kind of manipulate, but I wanted to have that to, for the pretty green top.
Right,
Because
right.
the riper ones were starting to turn brown a little bit. So, I mean, you can take this where I cut the star out
And add it to it.
Yeah. You'll wanna
Would you
cut
take the peeling away
the
or?
peeling off? Yeah. So you're not eating that.
Right, right.
So maybe I can do this without cutting myself here. Yeah. We can do some little
Okay.
shapes here. Yeah, if I had a much bigger pineapple and a smaller
Yeah, you can make a huge tray with that.
cookie cutter, you could probably cut more stars out, but I don't have a different sized one, so we'll just cut these in kind of a diamond shape because that's kind of what we got going on here.
That'll work.
Yeah.
That'll work. This looks really yummy.
Yeah, can't wait to try this one. Gonna get our fruit in today.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of fruits, so we know fruits are full of vitamins and nutrients. So tell our audience a little bit about what would be here in those vitamins and nutrients that they may be seeking for.
Well, you know, vitamin C definitely is in a lot of our fruits, which is, you know, really good for helping keep us well and our immune system. So you really want to have lots of vitamin C, especially in the winter months. And, you know, citrus and stuff like that is pretty plentiful in the winter. I do know that. That's in season. So,
Right, like your apples are fall, your oranges are winter, or around now,
apples,
December.
fall. So anyway, that's pretty simple. But yeah, blueberries kind of are the superpower of fruit. You want to get lots of different colors because that's going to give you different vitamins and minerals. So that's kind of why they say, you know, eat the rainbow. So we've got a really cute, colorful fruit display here. So you can get lots of those vitamins and minerals and phytochemicals that are really important to help keep you healthy and your immune system boosted. So.
And I was thinking, because you and I have talked about your Dining with Diabetes classes as well.
Yes.
And this would be a great recipe because, you know, folks with diabetes may have a hard time eating things that we traditionally like to make around the holidays.
Right.
And so this would be something they could enjoy.
Right. This would be something
moderation.
that pretty easy that they should be able to enjoy and kind of make fruit your dessert. You know, make it healthy so it's easy and you know, maybe don't have so much of it because it might, you know, affect blood sugars depending on what the fruit is. But berries typically, like strawberries, typically tend to be pretty good about not raising your blood sugar as much, and probably the blueberries as well. So.
Now tell our audience a little bit about what you do at Cooperative Extension.
I do lots of different things, but one of them is teaching nutrition and physical activity to senior adults as well as preschool age children. We talk about the Color Me Healthy program. I'm actually here at Southeastern doing that program with the kids. And I go in and they have a taste test and try different fruits and vegetables. And actually the youngest group that I work with, the 2-year-olds, probably have been better about trying different fruits and vegetables. I mean, sugar snap peas, broccoli with no dip. They're trying these things, the spinach leaves, so they're trying these things. And we also don't want to influence their taste by telling them maybe a vegetable or a fruit isn't good, because it's harder to change those habits as your children get older, and you know, as you become an adult and even a senior adult. You want to make sure that you have a variety in your diet so you can be healthier, live longer.
Yep. When I was doing nutrition, I always told my classes, don't yuck somebody's yum.
That's right.
And and I also encourage them to take a no thank you bite and make the decision on their own. Don't think about what their friend thought about it, but do you like it?
Right.
Because we're all individual and we're going to think differently and enjoy things differently.
Right.
So.
And another thing I do at Cooperative Extension is teaching food safety courses for restaurant managers, cafeteria managers. And I'll surely be starting one of those this evening. So
I know you're excited.
Yes,
about
that's one of my favorites.
If somebody's coming in to do your food safety management classes, what should they expect, the duration, and what kind of time commitment would it be for them?
It's a pretty extensive curriculum, 12 hours for the class portion, and then the exam is the 2-hour exam, but it'll probably be like 3 hours total, getting everybody.
So when you teach the class, do you do like 3 days, 5 days?
Typically, I like to do either a 2 or 3 day format where I'll do a 12-hour course split over 6 hours both days, and then have the exam on the 3rd day. And then this format that I'm doing is 3 days of instruction, doing it 4-hour sessions, and then having the exam on the 4th day. So trying to kind of do after the lunch rush. but it would go interfere through dinner. But so it's hard to kind of accommodate everybody, but typically the all days I try to do, like on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for
Absolutely.
the exam. So because a lot of restaurants are closed on Mondays.
That is true.
So it makes it a little bit
easier for them. Well, Meleah, I just want to say thank you for being on the show. Can you tell our audience how to get up with you if they want some information about nutrition, about this lovely display that we've made, or if they're interested in taking any of your food safety classes?
We can be reached at 910-640-6605 is our main number for the extension office. And you can leave a message with Carsha if I'm not in, and tell me what you're interested in and finding out about.
Yep. Audience, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Spotlight North Carolina Cooperative Extension. We look forward to seeing you next time.